Welcome, Divine Soul. Lulu here to help deepen your connection with Spirit, awaken your gifts, and step into your highest potential. So thank you for joining me. It's my pleasure to chat and share on my channel. And today I want to talk a little bit about the main component that holds us back on our spiritual journey. So I'm going to be sharing this with you from a personal perspective and also sharing with you some of the things that I've learned and I'm able to understand. So, where are you on your spiritual journey? Are you exploring? Are you getting brave in areas of newness? Are you trying things that you find cohesion with or curiosity with? So it's really important that when we are walking our own spiritual path, it is very unique. So what I learned on my own spiritual journey was the one single thing that holds everyone back, and it certainly held me back. So what is it? I'll share with you the number one thing that holds people back on their spiritual journey is fear. So fear comes from a lot of different places, and I'm going to share with you my thoughts and feelings on this. So when we are doing anything new, and it's not exclusive to our own spiritual journey, but it is life experiences when we're doing new things or we're thinking about exploring new avenues. And so the emotional component of that, I guess, that holds us back all the time is fear. So if you want to go for a new job and you're thinking about an application form and things like that, you can be fearful because of the unknown. You're fearful about rejection. You know, some of the fears when we're taking on new challenges in our life can be easily identified. But is that the same on our own spiritual path? Well, I'll let you consider that for a moment, but I want to share with you some of my experiences with fear that held me back. So when I started my spiritual path in a very conscious way, one of the things that I soon experienced, and it really didn't matter what I was doing, whether I was using divination tools, whether I was exploring new aspects of channeling, whether I was asking and receiving communication in a very clear and obvious way. But the main overriding emotion that kind of kicked in pretty quickly was fear. So I'll give you an example that when I first started using a pendulum, so I wanted to work with a pendulum, and I wanted to challenge the pendulum's modality sufficiently that it would confirm to me that it wasn't me making the pendulum work. So when I first started doing that, and the pendulum was absolutely accurate, so I asked somebody if they would come and join me for a pendulum session, and that we would ask questions, or the person would ask questions that I couldn't possibly know the answer to, because there is some consideration that your higher self or your psyche or your oversoul or whatever it is, your soul, can actually influence the pendulum. So I wanted questions that were very independent, that I couldn't know the answers to. And so when the pendulum was consistently getting the information right, I began to get really fearful, and it was like, oh, why is that? So we finished the session and I had a little time to contemplate. And then I did some other sort of spiritual exploration. I was scrying for a little while, using mirrors and water. And again, when I was seeing things and receiving things, I began to get really fearful really quickly. So I had to kind of put everything down for a little while and just kind of sit with the energy of that fear. So not dismissing it, not allowing it to be bigger than it was, certainly not allowing it to override or become burdensome in my energy field, but just with a curiosity, kind of a healthy curiosity. So what did I discover? And I do really encourage you to consider this yourself, because I get a lot of inquiries and I do a lot of teaching via workshops, educational components. And the one thing that consistently keeps coming up is fear. So this is what I figured out. And I want you to figure out your own fear influence. So for me, definitely was family circumstance and the stories that I was growing up with and the belief system that was imposed on me through a religious indoctrination. So really acknowledging that fear emotion could easily be identified with a certain time in my life. Now, it wasn't just in those formative years of growing up. There were other things that sort of happened in my life. Older siblings that gave me unoffered, but pretty much gave me really scary stories about things that are dead, or cemeteries, or spirit boards, or better known as Ouija boards, crystal balls, all those sorts of things. When I had those scary stories, it indoctrinated a fear-based bias in me. So what's really important, and I suggest you do this, is actually put some time and attention into your own exploration of where does your fear come from. And I can honestly say that for me, one of the biggest lessons was overcoming that fear by acknowledging the stories, the influences. They weren't real. It wasn't my story, wasn't my experience. So my connection with the spirit world has only been pure, has only been divine, has only been in light. So all of those fear-based things are very much human conditioning. And so I really do encourage you to keep peeling back the layers on your own belief system and your own fear emotion that comes up, because on this spiritual path there are people and there are philosophies, I guess, and particularly around religion, that use fear as a way of controlling. So power and control happens when a party in the relationship is fearful. And so I want to empower you to release that fear. I want to empower you to go forward on your spiritual journey, understanding and inviting only the most beautiful energy of the divine into your heart and into your life. So that's it for now. Keep listening, keep expanding, walking your sacred path. You're powerful beyond measure, and never forget that. I'll see you next time. This is Lulu. See ya.